Monday night on March the 26th. We're in Jerusalem. We just hit Jerusalem. Everybody's had supper, and I'm in the motel room of Donnell and Sandra Brown. You sure you guys are up for an interview to be on CNN or Oprah?
Oh, yeah. We'd love for this to be on CNN. That'd be great. Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed everything so far, and everything has been a blessing. It's been very difficult. I think it's a pilgrimage. Ought to be physically taxing as well as spiritually enjoyable, but it's a big responsibility. I know that, Donnell, your name is on everything as the host, but both of you bear the responsibility of this. It's a pretty big responsibility to 36 people. You kind of got their lives in your hand and their safety. I know you worry about it. You're doing an excellent job. We haven't had anybody so much as skin a knee or anything yet, but do you have any regrets so far on this trip? We've been from Frankfurt and Cairo, and here we are in Jerusalem for the last leg.
No, we've had a great time, and on the subject of putting together and organizing it, obviously Sandra does most of that. She does all the preparation in the way of just so many things that wouldn't be interesting to talk about on this interview, but she certainly is the one that puts it together. She's the organizer. I pretty well know the country, and I know about the places and at least the biblical part of it. I'm not. There's a lot of I don't know about. I know about the biblical stuff, but I don't regret a bit of it. We came from Frankfurt, flew into Cairo. We came from Cairo across the Sinai. We went from across the Suez Canal on a hydrofoil. We traveled from there to in and through Jordan to Petra. Saw the amazing things at Petra already. Stayed in some wonderful places. Been entertained with the people. It's just been a wonderful thing. And so no regrets. We're here in Jerusalem, and when we came into the city of Jerusalem, this is one of the most special things that I've ever had happen. 14 times here now, seeing the city of Jerusalem, but new people wept as we went to Mount Scopus, and from the looking actually southwest from the northeast, Mount Scopus is the view that the conquerors of the city of Jerusalem had, and we had that already tonight, and it's been a great trip to this point, and we anticipate even greater things, and can hardly wait to finish the rest of it.
All right. Well, I've been, of course, watching you as you're leading us, and both of you been taking point and everything. But it's been enjoyable to overhear you several times say that we've been to places you've never been before. We've seen things you've never seen, and we've done things that you've never done. So every trip, if someone was watching this video, if they had been before, it wouldn't be the same old thing every time they come, would it?
No, one of the things we try to do is to create an atmosphere of a learning atmosphere. And of course, the guide really is responsible for that, keeping us on the history of the land, battles, all the things that are very interesting, but things that he alone will know as far as being an expert in it. Then my responsibility, as I see it, is not only to create a learning experience, but a worship experience. And in order to do that, you have to bring the Bible into the picture, and I think you have to bring songs of worship, the ones that we're accustomed to. And then the places that we've been to. You refer to the places we've been to. Every time I come, we see things that we haven't seen before. So no trip is exactly the same. Although on every trip you'll see the basic biblical sites, the ones that we see every time, but then we'll see new sites each time on every journey we take. And so it's a magnificent thing. And most of the people leave our trips, our journeys, saying, man, this was a worship experience, and I would love to come back. And I'm going to tell people, because I want to do this. I want to do this and see other people experience it. So yes, it's unique. It's a new experience every time.
Sandra, this is really not a woman's world at all, is it?
No.
And I don't even really know what to look for. I can certainly see how the other women are inhibited and how they're restrained and so forth, and really most of the women that are native here don't make eye contact with you much or won't have a conversation. How do how do you feel people are looking at you or seeing you? I mean, the natives of the country. Are you being treated politely, or do you feel like anybody is looking at you angrily, or feeling like they're looking at an American woman showing her ankles?
The only ones to be angry would be the jealous ones.
Yeah. No, really, I feel very comfortable. I mean, I don't have any fear or anxiety at all, and I feel like everybody treats me very well. They're very friendly.
Do women engage you, other than, say, a vendor or something like that? Do women engage in conversation or say things to you out of just, start open the conversation?
Some do, but now most of them will just sort of shy away. They won't carry on a conversation, but now, like in the restrooms where we go, a lot of them will, try to talk to us and ask us where we're from, the ones that do speak English.
Donnell, I notice you call on the women to pray, or you let them read and things like that, so you evidently don't feel that we need to show a lot of restraint, especially when we're more or less in our own group. We're not going to offend anybody, or we don't have to take any special precautions.
John, that's a good question, although this is a world that, for the most part has been viewed as a male-dominated world. It certainly, from biblical times, was a male-dominated world. And women maybe didn't have the place they should have had. But when we come to these trips, we feel like that our women are very much a part of what we're doing. We call them to pray. We call them to do readings at the sites. We call on them to lead us in songs. We call on them to make comments about scriptural references that they may have to the sites we go. And the women are very much involved in the process here.
They just have one more question for you. I put myself in your position, and I was one thing that I miss is having my family with me. Even if just one of my family members was with me, I think it would multiply my enjoyment. It just seemed like there's that kind of relationship you have. And Tim, your son, is here with you on this trip. I don't know if you invited him to come and insisted that he come, or you made him come, or he's being punished, but obviously you all enjoying. He's enjoying everyone here, and everybody's enjoying him. How does that feel, being able to share this with a member of your family like that?
I think probably the best way to answer that is to answer it with a real illustration. In 1986, I came to the Holy Land for the first time. When I was here, I said to myself, as I was seeing all the sights and weeping and worshiping and just having the best time ever, I said, I'll never do this again without Sandra. So I went back home. I told her about what all I'd seen, what all I'd experienced. Of course, you're frustrated because you can't make it clear. And so in 1992, we decided, hey, we're going back. Sandra's going back. Tim's going with us. Or Sandra's going. Tim's going. Christy's going. I'm going again. And so in 1992, we all came over here together, and we still talk about it as the best vacation we ever had, coming to the Holy Land. It was really a treat, and we made memories that will last for a lifetime, all the way until we get to heaven, and we'll still remember it perhaps.
Obviously, Christy wishes she could be here. That's a little too complicated, isn't it, with a small child? And actually, I like Christy a lot more than I like Tim. And so if I had my choice, I would say let him stay home and bring her. But it just doesn't always work out the way.
Right.
Which one of y'all do y'all love the most, Tim or Christy?
Well, the Lord loved Jacob, so I suppose we could pick one if we wanted to. Well, but you know what? I know Terry's at home, John, and you've been with us. You've done a good job, a great job, magnificent job. And we want Terry to be here with us, but doggone, she couldn't come this time. Next time, Terry, be here. She's coming the next time. And I'm telling you, she'll love it. And we really love our family being here. It's a family experience. And when little Emmy Ann.
That's what I was thinking of next.
Yeah, when little Emmy Ann she's 5 now. But when Emery Ann is old enough to come over here and enjoy it, she's going to come with us. And she told me, I told her the other day, I said, Papa and Grandma and Tim are going to Egypt. She said, going to Egypt? Mm-hmm. And so I said, yeah, we're going to Egypt. She said, can I go? And I said, well, one day you can go, and one day we'll bring Emmy Ann with us to the land of the Lord, Israel, and see these wonderful sights. Family, it's a wonderful thing for family to do, planning vacations, the whole 9 yards.
Well, I hope I'm around to see that trip. I'd not only enjoy seeing her see the sights that we've seen for the first time, but it'd be funny watching y'all drag y'all's old carcass all over Egypt and in the Middle East. So that's bound to be worth the trip right there.
I'm whipped right now, John. I tell you, we've been.
Well, just imagine if you were 5 years older or maybe 10 years older.
That's right. I hope 5 years from now I feel better than I do now.
It sounds like vain hope to me. But
right, yeah.
All right. Well, I know y'all want to go to bed. Thank you for your time, and we'll include this in, and I'll hit a few others. As a matter of fact, you're the first folks on tape. So we are doing a great job. We're looking forward to a great rest of the week, and then, of course, being home with our family again soon.
Shalom.
Well, it is Monday night, and we're in Jerusalem. We've been traveling all day and seen quite a bit of Israel today, but I'm in the room of Dave Resler. And Dave, you're a new friend of mine. I just met you on the trip. I don't recall ever having crossed paths with you, but you're a delightful person. I enjoy being with you. Would you be offended if I said that you have spice, or what in the movies they would call true grit?
I guess not, no.
You're an ex-military man. Does your
Yes.
grit come from your family or your lineage, or from military?
I don't know. I guess it's just the experience of living all those years and having seen the world.
Well, I was going to ask, that was one of the first questions I had in mind for you. You're obviously seeing the world now. You're not new to international travel. This is not
No.
anything that you're green at.
No.
How does this compare? Let's pick another trip, whether it was in your military days or just a personal trip. Does it compare to this pilgrimage in any way? You've been on business perhaps, or leisure?
Mostly it's been business with the Army, or it's been overseas to play war
Yeah.
a couple times, and I've been most everywhere there is, probably except South America, on business with the Army. And I guess the biggest comparison was I've had a chance to come to Egypt a couple times, and saw the pyramids and did some other things. But certainly the focus of those wasn't what I wanted this trip to be focused on.
Well, it seems to me, if you'll pardon me of making an evaluation, you don't seem to be intimidated or anxious about being in unfamiliar surroundings or being out of your comfort zone or anything
I
like
think
that.
I'm okay. And y'all make it easy.
Well, did you know any, obviously you said that you had been acquainted with Tim. He was on staff at your church,
Yeah.
but is there anybody else? Did you know his parents? Had you met
No,
Donald and
I
Sandra?
had not. I'd not met them until I met Tim. Tim, it's been 5 years ago that Tim joined our church, and he left about a year ago, and so I came to know Jesus rescued me very late in life. I've only been a Christian a little over 10 years. Always believed in God, but never really had what I know now to be a relationship with Jesus that this is all about. And so almost from the beginning of my salvation and baptism, I got hooked into youth ministry to work with teenage boys.
Really?
So the funny part about it is I worked for him for 4 years when he came on as youth pastor. So I was a volunteer and he was my boss.
Working with youth these days, that requires a little bit of insanity, doesn't it?
Oh, sure.
You just be a little bit off kilter, a little bit out of tune, or out of whack.
I think kids are kids. They've always been that way. I think back to the way I was. I use that to my advantage because they can't pull much on me. I've seen it all, done it all, and tried it all at one time or another. So I tell them, don't try, don't start.
Well, do you try to be cool, or you just play it straight?
I learned
That's usually the death knell in youth work, isn't it?
I learned very early on that if you didn't know who they were, if you didn't know them, if you didn't go to their ball games, if you didn't have them over to dinner, if you didn't
Listen
do
to
those
their
kinds
music?
of things, listen to their music,
Sure.
all of that stuff, you would struggle with some relevance. I've never been afraid to teach things. I did that in the Army and all that, but for the longest time when we first started, I was a bachelor, so my house was a haven to teenage boys where they would just hang out. And so no, I think what they need is the truth.
Do you feel like you're relevant? Do you feel like you're
I
connecting
think so.
with them?
He'll tell you whether I am or not, but whether he thought that was. But I think they need the truth, and they need it unvarnished. and they need to know you love them, and they need to know you still love me when you tell them they're out of line.
Okay.
And they're not going down the right path.
All right, let's get back to Jerusalem again. Well, the Middle East, this trip, is there any particular thing up to this point that you feel like is particularly meaningful?
I'm just kind of overwhelmed, candidly. I had a goal. I've had a desire, not a goal, I guess, to learn as much as I can after I got to be a Christian, and I've studied as best I can. Tim's taught me. Other pastors have taught me. I've been to classes, been to training and all that. But I've never had a chance to come over here, and it's been a burning desire for a long, long time. And it seemed like this trip was set up, designed for what I needed. I really thought it was interesting that we would basically do the Exodus and then follow the footsteps of Jesus. Yeah. And you probably noticed my pen's almost running out of ink trying
I'm glad somebody's making a written record.
Some observations, but
some hieroglyphics and whatnot.
My desire was to not be a tourist on this, and I found a couple times it was easy to slip into being a tourist, seeing the sights and saying wow, but I wanted it to be a walk with Christ and a walk with God. And so there have been a few occasions where He's brought me to my knees. I remember in Egypt at the place where He had visited as a child. The places we've been, like at Capernaum, where without a doubt it's proven that He was there, and I was there, and I don't know what to make of that, except that it's inspired me when I get back to study even more and to put all this together and try to tell a story for myself. I'll share it, but it's a story I want to tell to myself about what this is all about and what His journey was all about. And
if I could make a personal observation, I've baptized a lot of people in my ministry. I've seen a lot of people baptized, and yesterday you were the last in line in the baptismal line, and if I may say so, I may be mistaken, but it appeared to me that was a profoundly moving experience for you, and you seem to be more deeply moved than perhaps any of the other candidates. Was that a special time for you?
It sure was, and Tim doing it made it extra special.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Dave, I'm glad to know you, and I appreciate your words, and I believe when you get back to your church, you're going to have a very special message to deliver, and I believe that they'll receive it with grace.
I hope so.
All right. Thank you.
If you
viewed Dave Ressler's interview, he was referring to Tim Brown off camera, and that's a little odd, but we'll sew it together just like this when I do the editing, so it'll all make sense. Tim, appreciate your time. And is this your second time, or have you been more than... I know you've been twice.
Yeah, this is my fourth time.
Fourth time.
To Israel, yeah.
You first came when what I would consider, and we might both now consider a child, or a teen. Were you a teenager?
How old was I? I was probably 20.
Really?
20
Okay.
years old.
I guess I was thinking you were a younger teenager when you first came.
I was 92, so I guess I was in my second year of college.
Do you remember when, during this process, you obviously know your dad's been kicking this together for over a year. When did you get on board, or what was your, how did that happen?
Oh gosh, we just he mentioned going and getting some folks together. Some folks from our church went, and then so a buddy of mine went, and he and I decided to go, and then my sister and a couple of her friends. So kind of came together, not quickly, but it's something that we just all wanted to do together.
Well, as I can see, I'd like to bring my son here. He's let me see, he's 19 now, and my daughter's 22. And I've been kind of watching you guys, and you're, of course, an adult now, but I'll be a little bit concerned that if I was one of the leaders of the group, if my family came with me, would me being in a position of being host, would that cramp their style or inhibit them? But you seem to be a free spirit, and you don't seem to be, you help when you're called upon or when you're needed, but for the most part, your parents are just kind of treating you like one of the pilgrims. They're not requiring you. You don't have any duties that I know of, do you? Or any jobs, responsibility? Really. You count.
I'm volunteer. I count the people on the bus. That's about it.
All right. Have we lost any so far?
So far we haven't. We've been hoping to lose a couple, but
yeah, there's some that you just keep hoping. All right. What would you say right now, from maybe the last time you were here, where they've had a lot of recent violence? I've heard your dad say a few times, I've never been here, I've never done this. Anything like that for you?
Yeah, I mean, every time you come back, this has been my fourth time, you see things that have been, excavated that weren't before, and new sites that they add some things because they found some new things. And you hear, every time you come, you hear something different. You have different guys, different personalities, and they focus on certain aspects. So that, and of course the wall, that surrounds the West Bank, that's something new to me. I haven't seen that yet. The last time I was here was in 2000. So some logistical things that I've not noticed, or that are new actually, and then just tidbits I haven't heard before.
Have you already had your moment, or do you anticipate something this week that you've had kind of in the back of your mind? You felt like that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. That's going to be my place.
There's certain aspects, certain things about it I've been looking forward to. Things I knew that I've always liked to see of Galilee, that area, and so I've had a couple of moments where just moving around, more private moments than anything. But I'm overall just looking for tangible things that make a life of faith realistic, something that's a little different than what you experience typically in the structure of church sometimes. Not that that's a bad thing, but just something that's, because I am a free spirit, I guess, and I've learned over the last 15 years of ministry that the real things are things that don't happen in form necessarily.
Well, that's something that I'm seeing. It appears to me that there's a great deal of Catholicism here. There's a great deal of even the Muslim faith is very stringent, very legalistic, and so forth. I consider myself as a Christian to be very liberated, and sometimes
Sure.
I probably am a great deal more liberal in many things than I used to be. Do you sense there's a little bit of intolerance to that here, isn't
Sure.
it? You're supposed to be. I mean, holiness to me, I always
Sure.
thought with Moses standing on holy ground,
Yeah.
that if dirt can be holy, that's my niche,
Right,
So you're standing on the ground.
Yeah.
But holy to me has never meant being aesthetically religious or
Right.
anything along that line. And I sense that in you.
Well, I mean,
You can appreciate
Sure.
their faith, but you don't feel that you're lacking anything by being a little more personal with the Lord, instead of
Right.
stringently ritualistic.
I guess the thing I would say is that you can, once you free a slave, you probably have to kill him to bring him back. And just through experiences and other things, I've been liberated from some of that tightness and whatever. And you see a lot of that here. Unfortunately, the thing that we talk about, the Pharisaical viewpoints and the way they acted in the Talmud and all those things, the Book of Rules, and these verbal things even sometimes, but that exists on a level where we come from, social norms and mores and faithful standards. And
My favorite story is where Jesus is talking about the publican who's praying, and he can't even look up into heaven.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a Pharisee looking on, and he says, "Lord, I want to thank you that I'm not like that publican." Then
Right.
in the United States, we say, "Lord, I surely thank you I'm not like that Pharisee."
Exactly.
We're almost like him, aren't we?
Yeah, it's almost self-fulfilling. Yeah, true. Yeah, and I think that's something that, not to castigate or to throw stones. I just, that's the way it is. I just separate myself from it, whether it's noticeable or not. It's not the issue. I just, it's just not where I'm going to trod. And being here to me is more about just being in touch with that grace and that liberated atmosphere. And I just kind of ignore all the standard stuff.
Well, does it seem strange to you that as they speak about Jesus, he seemed to be irritatingly free and liberated, and he was always, it seems to me, intentionally, purposefully flaunting his liberty in his Heavenly Father, always bending what appeared to them to be breaking the rules.
Sure.
But that seems to be heightened here, doesn't it? You kind of see Jesus, of course, wasn't a revolutionary. He wasn't intended to be a troublemaker, but he certainly had a very, very personal relationship with God, and he advocated that for us. So
one of my favorite things about Scripture is the passage where the disciples, after Matthew comes into the fold, kind of the disciples are all reclining around with a bunch of sinners, quote unquote, and the Pharisees come in and they say to the disciples, not to Jesus, which I think is interesting. It sounds like Church Baptist gospel.
Somebody said.
They said, why is he, instead of speaking to him, they said, why is he eating with these folks and drinking with these folks and doing these things with these folks? and then he hears them, obviously, and he says, I'm over here, basically. You can't ask me. But it's very similar, you know, because he's called a wine bibber or drunkard or whatever. He's called this, that, and the other at times. And he was called things that we often in our circles call people that maybe just are expressing freedom, which I don't want to be a rebel either. I want to be revolutionary in some ways, but just on a very, very personal and intimate level with people, not necessarily grand scale.
Yeah,
So,
not you don't have any intention of ruffling anybody's feathers, but
no.
just finding your way.
Right.
Well, I appreciate that in you and seeing your personal walk with the Lord here, and it's demonstrated even in the midst of all of the cumbersome religious claptrap. There seemed like that's one thing, you almost cut the religion with a knife around here, and I'm not a very religious person.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you giving me your time tonight, and keep counting us, and I hope we make it back home with all 36.
We'll try.
All right, good night. Well, this is Wednesday night, and let's see. I didn't even look at my watch. So what time is it there, Robert?
Let's see, 3, it'd be probably,
It's nearly 10 o'clock here.
yeah, it's,
7 hours difference.
the, what, 7, I don't know, 7 o'clock, I guess.
All right. Well, I've already spoken with my wife. I pastor a little church over in Limestone County. It takes us about an hour to drive there from where we live. So she'll probably worship at home tonight and just call in. I've asked her to call my flock, and it may be a little while yet before they get into church. But I try not to worry too much about what's going on at home. Maybe they'll
Well,
do
it's
without us.
actually 2 o'clock in the evening there.
They're all right. But, well, y'all went to Jimmy's tonight. Did you see anything that struck your fancy?
Oh yeah, she bought her necklace. It's what is it? A widow's mat.
All right.
Bought a little guy playing golf, and another little necklace. So, yeah,
Okay,
pretty
good deal, good deal. Well, I haven't made that excursion yet. I've been a little bit under the weather, as y'all know, but I've just began to get my feet up underneath me, and extracurricular activity has gone by the wayside this week, so I've been pretty much going straight to the room and crashing, but I'm hoping to get caught up a little bit. Let me say, just as a new friend and someone who had been formerly unacquainted with you, just from observation, I'm a pastor too, and so I've actually learned a lot about you from observing your parishioners. How many church people did you bring with you on this trip?
We actually carried. There was 14 in our group. One's my secretary, and she's not a member of our church, and then 2's from another church. So we actually carried what's that? 10?
10 of your church members?
11 of our church members.
The notations that are made in the booklet that Judy prepared for us have been very helpful, and I've noticed a lot of people from Cedar Bluff. And I've been kind of eavesdropping on some of the citizens of the town of Cedar Bluff. Is that the city that...
Cedar Bluff, Alabama.
Quite an interesting town. It has quite an interesting political history. So I won't get into that on this tape, but may I say that just from observing you and interacting with your people, you've been both interacted and fellowshipped with everybody here, but your people seem to appreciate you and love you a great deal. They seem to be very proud to be here with you, not only here with you, but to have you as their pastor. So
I'm very proud to be their pastor. It's a good church, located in a great area. It's the Weiss Lake area. They claim to be the crappie capital of the world.
Really?
Not Alabama, crappie capital of the world. And it's a beautiful lake. It's sort of turned into a retirement place, but it's a small town, about 1,300, just a real good place to live.
how long have y'all been there as pastor and wife?
Be 6 years, June the 12th.
Well, all right.
So we're having a great ministry there, and God's blessed it. Church is doing good.
Well, as I said, just from observation, your folks, the ones that have come here, are very fond of you. I've enjoyed. You've had opportunity to speak or read or recite or testify in various places, and do you does your church record any of your messages, or do you broadcast or anything like that?
We record them, some of them.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get a tape. I'd like to hear you actually bear down and preach sometime. But you guys, wanted to ask you. Obviously, Cindy, I understand you have a form of ALS, and obviously, as you prayed about this, I know you've been here before, but in thinking about this trip and coming here this time, obviously required some prayer and making a decision to come here. And could you share with just a little bit about the process of how you finally made up your mind, or how what process did you go through to get to say, well, you know what, we've got some problems. We could just play things safe, or we could just go on and live our life to the extreme. I don't know if that defines the question, but I hope you understand. I'd be interested in knowing kind of what in the world are you doing here in the Holy Land? That's the question, I guess.
You know, I think you can let any kind of disability stop you, and hers is a little different than probably somebody else's, you know, because this is not a handicap accessible area.
Exactly.
I came in '99, checked the place out, knew it wasn't handicap accessible. She came back in 2000, hard to get around, but she has a wonderful attitude about it. We thought about it, prayed about it. She thought about it a long time before she came this time. We knew it was going to be a grueling, 13 days, because we were going to Egypt, then we were going to Petra, and we'd come to Israel. But it's such a, it's such a drawing place, especially Israel.
Yeah.
As a Christian, we're coming back to the land that Jesus walked in, and it just really, it's something that just draws you here, and she loves to come as much as I do. A lot of difficulty, and we did have to take yesterday off,
yeah.
And then we, started back today, and she seemed to be doing real good. And another thing, everybody's so helpful, to help her get around because of her walking, and that makes it, but we didn't want to let a disability stop us from going anywhere. You can't be scared to go anywhere and just sit at home. You've got to, just do the best that God will let you do, and just trust in Him. And I think He's provided, He provided us the strength and the grace to be here.
All right. Well, you did mention that you took yesterday off, and that seems to have given you a new wind, a new breath, and a second go at it. But you've been very inspiring to everybody. Both of you have. But I thought Cindy's innards would get joggled out of her today on some of those steps. But some things we take for granted, I guess, and I just, as a kind of commercial for our own country, we've made it mandatory in America that every place has to be a place that people with all kinds of physical challenges can get in and out of. And I don't guess I ever thought. Sometimes I'd pull up to Staples and say, surely there's not this many crippled people in Decatur. I'd park way out the end of the parking lot and have to walk all the way up here. But I'm sure that has cost a lot of store owners and a lot of government buildings, millions and millions of dollars. But how much can you change a historic site like this and rearrange it so that it can be, I can see the point, but I really appreciate our country, and we can do things and go places, and I will never take that for granted again.
Well, it shows the greatness and uniqueness of our country. Even though I love to come here, and this is my favorite place, Israel. And maybe I would have to say probably the Tiberias area a little more so than Jerusalem, even though there's more historical markers in Jerusalem than in Tiberias. But it shows the uniqueness and greatness of our country compared to any other country in the world, because we are handicap accessible, and, it's just different.
Well, and mentioning yesterday also, I was going. I didn't know what all you did to rest or recuperate, or if Cindy got to catch up on her soap operas or watch Oprah or anything like that. But any time during this has been a pretty grueling thing for me, and I'm supposedly completely healthy. Any time when you said that you thought or said or discussed with each other we shouldn't have come, or I wish we hadn't come, have you had any regrets so far?
No, it's we got tired. It's been real tiring. But yesterday she got to rest, and most of, laid around, slept, and all that. And no, it's just a great trip. You build friendship with other Christians, other pastors. This is my 4th time to come with Donnell, and Cindy's 3rd time to come with, Donnell and Sandra, and we love it every time. And they're a gracious host, and anybody that can come on a trip here. A lot of folks are worried about safety. I've never felt threatened here. It's a secure country. And then Donnell and the tours that he does, they're tremendous tours, real spiritually uplifting like we had today in the garden. In every place that we've been, it's truly not a vacation.
Yeah.
It is a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And just really a good time. And I would encourage anybody that could come to come. It will enhance their walk with the Lord.
All right. Well, thank you, both of you. I appreciate your time, and I wish I could say that I'd give you all a chance to kind of look at this before we put it on the disc, but you're going to pretty much be stuck with my editing. But I appreciate your time tonight, and I know that everybody will enjoy your. You have all the words, but she has the pretty face and the smile. And she's nodded appropriately all throughout, and actually she said as much with her face and gestures as you have with your voice, Robert. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Well, let's
What
see.
am I looking at? You or that?
Look, why don't you just? I'll what I've been doing with everybody else is getting I've been directly behind the camera, but I'm not doing that here. But we've just been having conversations. You've had the distinct pleasure of being my roommate since this journey began. So if you'd like to unburden yourself right now and to say what a jit you think that was from the beginning, well, just go right ahead. I can take it.
Well, I think it's been great being your roommate. It was a little bit strange when we first met, not knowing each other, but you being sort of under the weather, sort of looking out for each other. But really and truly, it's been a great experience. Got to know new people, and especially you.
Well, may I say that, and forgive me, this is a characterization, you're like a world traveler. You have a great sense of humor, and you mix and mingle with all the people well, and everybody that knows you here on the group, and you're an Alpha insurance agent. That just seems like the most boring job in the entire world. So that you don't really fit that profile. So evidently you're more than your occupation.
I'm really not an agent. I'm a district manager with Alpha.
Which seems to me to be even worse. You're in charge of all the agents, right?
Right.
But there is a world of insurance. My brother sold insurance for Allstate for many years, but
Sure.
You're helping people. Obviously, they're still in good hands if they're with you, even though
Sure.
they're not Allstate. How long have you been doing that job, Marvin?
Been with them 26 years as a district manager with Alpha.
That seems. How big is your district?
Compass, it is 6 counties of Alabama, from Tuscaloosa toward the Mississippi state line. Have 31 agents, 44 secretaries, and 11 adjusters. It works for me.
My goodness.
15 offices.
Can you run everything from headquarters, or do you do traveling? Do you do a lot of
I
traveling?
travel all over my district. Yeah.
So you're a hands-on guy. You don't feel like you can do everything by telephone or by fax and all that.
I hire and train and fire, and if I have to.
All right.
It's been a great experience.
Well, is this track you feel led of God to stay on until retirement?
Oh yes, I plan on working another 9 years, if the Lord's willing and my health holds up.
What's above district manager? Do you have your sights set on any other kind of corporate, within your corporation, a position that you think that you might ride out in the last part of your days, or you like what you're doing now?
I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy my job. I look forward to going to work every day, and it's a great privilege to get to work with a lot of great folks, and we do help a lot of folks. When the Hurricane Katrina came through, and even Ivan when it went through Gulf Shores, my company was there writing checks the next day, and we can put people's houses back together, and we can repair their automobiles. But the greatest calling, I think, of all is whenever a loved one is lost. We can't replace that person, but we can be a continuation of life for that individual's family. and that's where life insurance comes in. And we sell all types. We're a multi-line company, and I've delivered a lot of death checks, and whenever you deliver one of those and see those little children's eyes, you know, Daddy may be gone, but Mom and the kids can continue to live through the beauty of life insurance.
So you obviously, it appears that your faith is an asset to you in this. Do you think a non-Christian could be as effective as you are?
Well, I don't know if they could or not, John. I think that my faith in God has certainly helped me. I know that God has opened many doors for me in my life. And throughout my work with this company, I definitely have tried to be an honorable person, to show the love of Christ that's in my heart. I think it's a challenge each day, but it's a challenge that I look forward to, going to work each day and seeing people, how we affect people's lives in a positive manner. And yes, I think that God has been a big part of my life.
Well, and it seems, I know that you're here with, you're associated with a lot of the people who are here through your church. And
Yes.
what does God have you doing at your church? What a position of leadership or a position of service? What do you do at your church?
Well, I'm teaching a Sunday school class, and I have been teaching that class now for a little over 2 years at East McFarland Baptist Church. Brother Doug Reeves is our pastor. Just love the church. There is such a feeling of love within our church. You can see it on this trip. The 9 folks that we brought, we all stay together. We help each other out. But to be on this trip with those people from our church, we are going back and having a ministry in our church of these trips. And hopefully we'll see others that will want to go on future trips to the Holy Land. It has changed my life in the way that I have taught my Sunday school class. Things that I'd read about in the Bible for all of my life. I am a pastor. I am a ordained Baptist minister. I have pastored 3 different churches. I have been out of the pastorship for several years, and I feel led that God is leading me to teach in this Sunday school class. And I'm bringing a part of this back, and it seems like that after I went to the Holy Lands last year, the Bible just became alive for me. Things that I'd read about the travels of Jesus Christ, now all of a sudden I've been there, and I have seen with my own eyes. And what I plan on doing is taking the things that I see in the Holy Lands and carry those back to individuals that have not had a chance to ever see it. And maybe through my eyes, they will be able to see some part of the Holy Land and what it means to me.
Let me say that just you've been very helpful to me. You seem to have a tremendous grasp on where things are, where we are, what's over the next hill. I mean,
Right.
I've studied this in the topography and the geography all my life as well, and I guess I could look at a map and tell you where everything is at.
Sure.
But you seem to be able to, wherever we have been on the bus, you've known where we are and what's
Right.
over the next horizon, things like that. So I let me commend you for that, and I appreciate you. You've helped me get some really good camera shots saying this is coming up next, and this is something you won't want to miss. So I appreciate that, and I don't know if your Sunday school students will ever see this or not, but I think you must be a very good Sunday school teacher, and I would think they have a unique opportunity to study under you, because it's more than academic to you. Of course, it's obviously a very spiritually moving thing to you, but you have a grasp of it. It's something that's a part of you now. So, and I think
That is correct.
that's bound to make your lessons and your illustrations very lively and entertaining and enthralling, I would think. And I sense in you that if you could take every member of your Sunday school class and just bring them here, that you feel like you would hit pay dirt. And,
I would love
it would be like the gold rush. So I don't know how many. What age group do you teach, by the way?
Well, it's a different age group. It varies anywhere from 20-year-old right on up to 45-year-old.
I know that kind of church group. We have them at our church.
It's a mixed class, and my class is open to anybody that wants to come, and my class is very active in trying to call people and recruit people, and we all are working toward one thing, and that is to save people and get them to the saving grace of God. And I think that's what our calling is about. And if me being over in Israel for these 2 times, there's 1,000 things, John, that I could be doing at home right now. We have a busy life. My life is going on. My family is 4,500 miles away, but yet they are allowing me to be in the Holy Lands. And this has been a tremendous experience. I love the Sea of Galilee when we were up there a few days ago. I just love that area. It seems like that when we stood on the Beatitudes Mountain and looked down, it's as if I could see Christ speaking. It's like the Bible and the places that we have visited have just come alive. And I think our gospel is not something that should be drab and dreary. It ought to be a message of hope that Jesus is alive and that he does love us and that he gave his only begotten Son. God gave us his Son, and through that we all are alive today. It's a great, great time. It's a great time.
Well, I think your class will be tremendous beneficiaries of your previous trips, especially this one too. Guys, I have overheard you a few times say that you've never been to this place before. This
Right.
is something you've never seen. So
Right.
every trip is different, and
Sure.
obviously you're not redoing old things. That this is there are things you're going to take away from this trip that have been very profitable to you, and that you're gonna that you've enjoyed.
And even some of the sites that we have visited again, we have seen something new of those sites today. For the last few days we've been in Jerusalem. And
Well,
yes,
today we were kind of led into a little secret garden that I
Right.
know most people don't. Have you ever been
we
in
didn't
that
get
place?
to go to that side.
So that's an amazing thing to me, that here's a place that's got a locked gate and
That's
nobody's allowed to go, but all of a sudden we just ask a few questions and our
It
guide,
was opened up.
and then we went around there, and probably, how many people have had access to that at all. So,
I don't know.
I guess life is kind of like that. Sometimes we think, oh, they wouldn't let us do that, or
Sure.
we couldn't do that, or we probably should play it safe. But I think it's something I've been stricken by all of these people on this trip. They're risk takers, and
Sure.
it would certainly be a lot safer for them to stay at home and rocking in their rocking chairs, but here they are. But I appreciate you, and I hope that we can stay in touch, and as we are separated, we may even be on this journey again, but hopefully I'll be sharing a bed with my wife the next time I come.
Well,
So.
I'm looking forward to that, number one.
Yeah.
But number two, if our travels should pass again and we're put together again, I couldn't think of a better roommate than the one I've had.
Well,
this
thank you,
time.
and I've appreciated you too, and so we seem to have been paired off well, and I hope that I haven't been too annoying to you, especially when I was hoping that I might die and so I could get better.
We were all concerned about you, and there were a lot of people on this trip praying for you.
All right, man. Well, let's. It's about bedtime unless you want to watch another movie. So
No, we're fine.
all right. Thank you, Marvin.
All right.
All right. What night is this, Todd? We're on Thursday night, right?
Yes.
How you doing, man? Are you gonna make it? You gonna live?
I'm gonna live.
All right. Well, you've been our left rear guard this whole time, so I appreciate that. You're not a man of many words, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to coax out of you right now. Now, I understand you're associated with the police department also, or are you a police officer, or
No.
you work with them and as a maintenance manager and so forth? Their vehicles are what do you maintain?
I take care of the police firing range.
Okay, that's right. And I remember seeing in your bio. So that sounds like a great job. Do you wear earmuffs all day long?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, how is that? How you come into a job like that? Is that something that just kind of opened up for you, or are you have you always enjoyed weapons? Have you collected weapons? Come from that kind of background?
Yes, it just sort of happened.
Do you have a particular knowledge of weapons, or would you say that you just know police weapons and the kind of things
I know rifle, shotgun, and I know a few weapons.
Okay, but you seem like you have a really interesting job, and as a minister, I've often wished that I could shoot people, and so I don't know if I worked, say, part-time at your job, I just know I'd bring my work home with me and go to my other job like that. But well, that is fascinating. But look, this is your first. Is this your first time here?
Yes.
Okay, what would you, when you get home, what are you going to tell people was the highlight of your journey here? What would you tell them was the part that you felt like you got the most out of or enjoyed the most?
I don't know. There's so many things. I mean, we've been 11 days, and here in I don't know. I think the garden and in the Kedron Valley was also very nice.
What kind of things are you taking back as mementos? Not just gifts, maybe, but
really, I'm not really taking anything from me back as a memento. I got a memory of the last rest of my life.
Yeah. Is this something that you'd like to do again? That you feel like that you'd like to do in the future?
I would like to bring my wife.
Okay. How would I know I would have enjoyed this tremendously if my wife had been here, and even my kids. I'm a little concerned about, I'm a pretty hardy guy. My wife is, she's healthy, but she's never has been an athlete or anything. So is your wife, is she very hardy and feel like she'll keep up with you and keep going?
Oh, yeah. She don't have no choice.
Okay, man. Well, I hope that y'all get to come and enjoy this together. And is there, do you have, how will you share when you get back home? Is there someone who will, does your pastor, is he going to ask you to stand up and kind of give a testimony on Sunday, or do you have a Sunday school class you'll share with, something like that?
I have a Sunday school class Sunday I'll share with, and then my main thing is sharing will be with the TNT boys. One of those Sundays.
Really? Okay. They'll get a blast out of it, won't they? All right. Well, I'm looking forward to sharing with my kids too in our church, and I've got little things that I've brought for them, and been trying to bridge the gap with them since I've been their pastor, and made some connections. So I'm hoping to bribe them with some gifts from the Holy Land too. But is there anything you would do differently, or is there anything that you'd like to you wish, any place you wish we might have stayed a little bit longer?
Well, I just think we're going to the memorial tomorrow, and I just think half hour is not enough time there. And I would like to spend more Holocaust memorial.
Okay.
That's one thing. And there's a number of things that you got to realize we've been gone for 9 days now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I'm tired.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of. I even noticed some of our most hardy folks today, like they've lost a little bit of fire or a little bit of giddy up in their step. But you've been very constant. You've been pretty level all the way through. I had a low spot, but you seem like you've kind of been right along. You look pretty much to me, except you came here with whiskers, and then you're coming home. Have you warned your wife about that, or
No.
how is she going to receive you when you come home with a naked face?
She's going to be more happy than she was when I left.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if I came home shaved, my wife wouldn't even let me in the house. I don't even know if my kids would recognize me. I've had my beard for so long. But all right, well, you sound like you're making good headway. I appreciate your time, and I've enjoyed being a traveling companion with you.
Let me take that.
All right. Okay, Chad. May I start out by saying that I enjoy your wit and humor. I very seldom find anybody who can be as raucous as I can, or say things that are as shocking as I do. So you've almost stayed up with me tit for tat, though I'm better looking than you are, and so that helps some. But I couldn't make it through life if I took life too seriously. Sometimes I think try to be funny when it's inappropriate, but I enjoy you are a police officer.
That's right.
So how serious can you take that?
If you take it too serious, it'll kill you. Stroke and heart attack are the number one killers of police officers.
Really?
Yeah.
How's your wife with this? I've seen pictures of both of you that part of my research for this trip was looking at a lot of shots have been made of previous trips. And you have a beautiful blonde-headed wife, I believe.
I
So
do. A
how,
very beautiful
how did that
wife.
happen? Was she short of sight or something like that?
A lot
Can't
of
see
people
well?
won't believe this, but she really chased after me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're supposed to tell the truth on this interview, but we'll just let it slide.
Attractive.
Well, I don't know all the details under why as to why she couldn't come with you. I think you're kind of backing up your pastor on this one, pretty much on this one.
Yeah.
May I say too that though you are I love you as a court jester, your pastor seems to have a lot of confidence in you, and I taped your entire message on the Sea of Galilee, so I'm hoping to make a present of that to you. It'll be, Lord willing, it'll be on the DVD, but I thought that was excellent, and I sensed that you had anticipated that and prayed about it, and we're looking forward to it. You were just waiting for them to punch the go button so you could go. But you've been called on a number of times this week to read and to recite and so forth, and also your pastors depended on you a lot. You've also helped a lot of the other folks like the Smiths. You've been very helpful to them because you got a strong back and a weak mind, and you able to get that wheelchair up and down a lot of places.
I got a lot weaker mind than I have a strong back.
This is not obvious, as I said, not new to you. Anything you saw this time? Even Donnell Brown said that there are places he's been that he hadn't been before.
Jack is probably the best guide that I've ever seen in all of my travels, which I haven't traveled that much. I'll make it sound like I've traveled the entire world. But when we spent more time on the Temple Mount this time and went to the Eastern Gate, and then, of course, him taking us through what he considered probably closer to the Via Dolorosa than the ones that the Catholics have. I thought that was really good. He's just elaborated on things a lot more than I expected. His intelligence and his memory is just great. I really enjoy him.
He's a very intelligent guy, I'm a little cynical, and so I think sometimes you just get in the company line a lot of times when they're stroking you and polishing it. But the as he was kind of wrapping the day up yesterday and also tonight, I really sensed some genuine. He was being very complimentary to us, and he says he really appreciated us and our spirit, and so I really, in spite of all my cynicism, I feel that he has a respect for this particular group, and maybe there's some things that we've done or said or a way we've responded to him that I do think it is something personal he's felt for us. So
he's a super guy, and I truly believe that he's in love with Jesus, and he told us one of the first couple of days that this was his ministry, and I truly believe that's the way he approaches it, man. He knows his stuff. He's excited about it. You never get bored. He's constantly showing you different things. He shows you what he's going to show you, and then he shows it to you, and then he tells you what he shows you. Yeah. And, I mean, if you don't learn from him, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
So.
I've thought about incorporating. I noticed must be a Middle Eastern thing, because I noticed that our Egyptian guide and also our Israeli guide here, I don't recall it so much. I don't recall it at all with Omar, but when they stop and say, "Is that clear? Is that clear?" I think I'm going to put that in my preaching now and stop and say, "Is that clear? Does everybody got that?
So far,
Is that clear so far? You got that? You got that?" And if they don't, you just go back over it again. So
it's almost as common as $1 American.
Yeah, is that clear? Is that clear? And if you don't, respond. So I think that's got to make a big difference who your guide is, and you don't ever know who you're going to get or how good a job. You know what I'm always thinking too. Wouldn't you like to take him to the States and just kind of show him something?
I would love to have him come speak at my church.
Yeah, I'd like to take him to a Civil War memorial or something. Show him some historic place in the United States, and then say, "Is that clear?"
It may surprise you what he knows about that.
Well, he may know a great deal too. I talked with him today privately about. He kind of gave the traditional view of Masada, but there's been a lot of question about Josephus and whether or not those Israeli zealots. At this point I stopped thinking the zealots in Jesus' time are just like the lunatics. The guys that are on the fringe. By the time you get to the destruction of Jerusalem in the late 60s, and at 70 A.D. was the last stone, the zealots seem to be patriots then. I mean, they're like the good guys and the last chance for Judaism, and so I can't conceive of them having committed suicide or killed their
Right.
families and things like that. So he said he agreed with the most common findings, and there were some things, as he pointed out, you could obviously pick out when Josephus was telling the truth and the
Right.
times when he was exaggerating. So
Yeah, Jack is well read and well studied. It even goes back to when he was talking about the piece of apocrypha that had Mary doing the service of the high priest.
Yeah.
And how that's obviously a joke because that would never happen. Only one person could go in one time a year. So anything that Jack says, I take a whole lot of stock in because he's not trying to just sell you something. I think he honestly wants to tell you what the truth is. And he may say this is what people say, or this may be the area, or some people say this is it, but we can't know for sure. And I just think he's an honest guy, as honest as he can be.
yeah. All right, man. What do you have a position of leadership? You are obviously associate pastor, but do you teach class, or you have other duties?
Well, I am associate pastor, which is kind of like an education guy, and then I teach the college students at East McFarland Baptist.
Will they be expecting, or kind of a pitch or a slideshow, or like missionaries do, or do you intend to do anything like that, or just kind of work it into your lessons as time goes by?
Yes, and yes. When I get back, I probably will do some type of slideshow and kind of share with them some things that I thought were really cool.
Yeah.
And like I said, like we were talking earlier, there are several things that were really cool on this trip that we didn't see last time. But the thing that's different about college students, it seems, than everybody else I've ever taught is they're just so interested in facts and different things. It's almost like they're hungry to learn more than anybody I've ever dealt with. So I'll also work it into my lessons and just show them, this is what we say. And one of the things we've talked about over and over is the whitewashed tombs and how Jesus talked about the Jews or the Pharisees and how they spent so much time worrying about how they looked on the outside, but they were really just, a corpse rotting inside of them.
Let me plant an image in your mind that you'll never be able to get rid of, and it'll haunt you the rest of your life. But I actually heard a guy a long time ago preach a sermon during revival, and he actually used that text and said that Jesus' condemnation of the Pharisees that they were whited sepulchres. So from now on, when you get to that, it'll be
Well, I appreciate
you'll be completely unable to say anything other than whited sepulchres. So I'm stuck with it. So now
Yeah.
the burden is upon you.
Thank you very much.
That's like just like Lot casting his tent. We won't even get into that. So now you have whited
pitching his tent
towards Sodom.
towards Sodom.
Okay, we got that straight. So I don't know what the confusion of the problem is, but now we have it on tape for all memorialization.
Yeah.
But when I was a young minister, I heard someone say, there was a comment of someone on a pulpit committee, and someone says, well, we're looking for a pastor for our church. And he says, well, do you have any qualifications? He says, well, we just, there's only two things. We'll take almost anybody, but there's two things we won't take. We don't, first of all, he can't read Greek, and secondly, he's never been to the Holy Land. So, it's kind of like, I'm a little bit worried about that complex if, with everything we've seen, I think it'll require some restraint.
Oh, yes.
To keep from, every time you open the Bible, you're going to say, when I was back in the Holy Land,
Right.
So you have to, instead of, and I've learned over the years how to interject my knowledge of the Greek New Testament into just really sermon delivery without appearing to try to, like you're trying to impress somebody with your linguistic skills. But I'm going to try to just ease I have a newfound appreciation, and I guess you do too, of the Holy Land every time you come, and it's got to come out in your lessons and your messages. Your pastor lets you preach every once in a while on a regular basis, or just when he lights out of town?
Well, he's never off, so just every once in a while lets me preach. And then we have also an evangelist who goes to our church. He gets to preach a lot. Brother Doug is probably the greatest mentor a young pastor could ever ask for. And our church is about 20 years old this year, and we've had 5 or 6 pastors and come out of our church, and he's just always been great. There's never been a time that I've had a sermon that God's laid on my heart that I've asked to preach that he hadn't let me preach.
There you go.
And, not every pastor's like that, and I'm very thankful for the pastor I have.
Well, it seems like an ideal situation.
It really is.
So I know he appreciates you, and he's glad that you're here. He certainly depends upon you and counts you worthy. So But I've enjoyed. You've sat behind me, so that's made me a little uncomfortable. But otherwise,
Well, I got your back.
yeah, all right. But you're not packing, so I don't know what value you might be at all. But if you pick up something sharp and defend me, that'd be all right. Man, God bless you. I love
Thank
you
you.
and your roommate too. And we'll finish this trip on the bus at I think the north end of the Dead Sea. And David, how many times have you been to the Holy Land before?
My second trip.
This is your second trip. What do you feel is different about this time? Is there something that you've seen that you hadn't seen before when you're on your last trip?
Well, in my first time to Egypt, I wasn't too impressed by it. I think Israel and Jerusalem, Bethlehem are the best parts.
Would you go back to Egypt again if you had a chance, or would
No,
you
sir.
recommend to somebody at least go seeing it maybe one time?
No, sir.
Really? Okay, so you're not a big fan of Egypt then?
Oh, no. Oh,
All right. What about Petra? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Had you ever been there before?
no. Once.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a part of the original crew or not.
It was.
All right. What do you got? The rest of the trip here is I don't know if you know exactly everything that we're going to be doing. I understand we're headed to Jericho and then.
Dead Sea.
Okay. Are you going to swim in the Dead Sea today?
No.
So you've had plenty of salt water so far.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say if you knew someone, you may even have some friends back home that might watch this, that something you might say to them if they were trying to make up their mind whether to come or not? What would you say to them? Someone say about your same age and they never had been before. What would you say?
I'll tell them been through it in a lifetime.
Do you expect you'll come back again, maybe in the future?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
All right. Well, when you get back home, how did you share your trip with people? Show them pictures, tell them stories, or?
Oh, yeah. I told them, well, I always sing, and play the way we walk, all that good stuff.
Did you tell people at church primarily, or maybe in a Sunday school class?
That's a good place.
What about family members? Do you have family members I know that I have family members that never travel anywhere. They've never seen the world, and usually when I come back from a big trip like this, they get to experience it through me. Do you have family members that don't go around?
I have a few in Alabama, and I got most of my kinfolks live in Georgia.
Okay. And which church are you a member of? You're
First Baptist Cedar Bluff.
at Cedar Bluff. All right. Well, y'all have a pretty sizable group here, and y'all seem to care for each other a lot. Love your pastor and his wife.
Oh, love and pieces.
All right. Sounds like you have a great church. A great church. All right. Well, I've enjoyed. I believe I did the first leg of the trip on the bus, sitting a few seats in front of you. But about the last half, we've been traveling companions. So I've enjoyed sitting with you.
I have too.
But the only bad part is that Todd and Chad have been behind us all the way. So,
That's right.
but at least they go to sleep every once in a while and leave us alone. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and as I said, I've enjoyed being a traveling companion. Maybe if we get a chance to come back again, we can walk the same steps again together.
I hope so.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Action. This is Jan, and this is Friday, late afternoon, and she just came in. I can't believe you had any more shop left in you, but what you got in the bag?
I did. We went to Old Town, to the bazaar, and I got this gorgeous shawl.
Hey, back up. My goodness.
Is that not beautiful?
Now, is that something you'll ever wear, or will you just pretty much
Certainly.
display that somewhere?
No.
You wear that.
I will be wearing this.
If you're like my wife, you kind of already have an outfit in mind that you think it'll go with or something? Are you going to go buy an outfit that'll go with? That's even better.
I'll probably have to purchase a new outfit to go with
Oh,
it.
dadgum, I hate it when that happens.
But it was a wonderful experience. It was great. And
Now, we were threatened the other day that if we went to Old Town that we might be killed or at very least mugged, and you went back there again today. Are you foolish or
I
just?
did. I went with Chad. He promised, but then he left us. So I wound up with Doug and Judy, and we all stayed together, and it was crowded and very bustling, but we managed to get through.
Well, do you feel there's a little bit of exaggeration about how much mortal danger we were in the other day when we went, or just
To a certain extent, but I think there's safety in numbers.
Yeah, so you wouldn't go there like
I would
tonight by
I would
yourself.
definitely not go there tonight by myself.
Oh, could I see in your bag again? Is there any bread in there?
There is not. It is just my shawl.
What happened to you a few minutes ago as you were
I
re-entering
was
the...
stopped by the bread police, and my bags were checked for bread coming into the hotel.
Why would it be a crime to have bread in your bag?
Because they're preparing for Passover, they're Shabbat, and you have no bread.
No bread, huh? So how you're making it? No cornbread or whole cakes or anything? No pancakes?
No cornbread.
Biscuits, cat head biscuits?
No. And it's a good thing if you're on the Atkins diet.
Really?
Yeah, you can get meat and cheese.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned the word diet, and I'm supposed to be going on one when I get back, I overheard a testimony of yours the other day on the bus that there's actually less of you than there once was. Is that the case?
There is. I am a firm believer in Nutrisystem, and
Well, this is not a commercial, but I will go ahead.
and I have lost 42 pounds since.
I heard you say that. Well, congratulations. Well, you're a lovely person. I can't imagine you thinking you need to lose weight, but
I have 60 more to go.
60 pounds. So you're going to lose over 100 pounds?
101 to be exact.
Are you going to go on television, or will they pay you, or will you become under contract?
No, I will just be one happy lady.
Do you already feel better, or what do you testify to?
I could not have done this if I had not lost this weight.
Well, you've been before, and you made it, so...
Well, before I weighed about 195 when I went before. And this time, I started out this diet at 216, so I'm down to 175. I could never have made it.
And you're just slinging around those figures just like you don't care. You're just telling the whole world to just...
I don't care now because I've lost that much.
And did you get off your diet here, or do you feel...
Yes, I did, most definitely. I have eaten whatever I wanted here.
You feel, that's what you need to do, isn't it? You don't need
back on it Monday.
Okay. Well, I've enjoyed... I think you have been one of my traveling companions down a little bit, about 2 rows down on the left.
Actually, I'm sitting in your seat today.
Okay, that's a good shot for seeing some good sights. But all right. Well, listen, I have enjoyed being with you on this trip. You're a very pleasant person. And when you get home, when someone says, "Well, you've been before," what did you see this time that you had never seen before?
Many, many wonderful things. Saw the pyramids, saw the museum in Israel, Petra. I've never seen Petra. And we've gone to several sites here that apparently the general public doesn't get to see. And
that's true, isn't it? We were invited to enter a garden yesterday that had to be unlocked, especially for us, didn't we? Well, that's amazing.
We also went to the Pool of Shalom today where they had to unlock for us. And we went down to that actual pool. It was great.
All right. Well, listen, I would enjoy traveling with you anywhere, anytime. You're a great traveling companion. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. Thanks, John.
Okay, Harlan and Jerry, I've enjoyed traveling with both of you this week. And is this your first time to the Holy Land? I thought that was so. I've made a point to go through and mark everybody in the booklet that Judy provided for us, and then just as soon as I go back and glance through all of them, I forget. So I'm having that forget stuff. But you guys look fresh and glowing, and even though this is Friday, we're leaving after the stroke of midnight tonight. But you've just done tremendously. I just look at the people that I've had a difficult time this week, and then there are people that I know that are 10 or 15 years older than me, and they just keep on plugging, just keep right on going. So, not that you guys are ancient or decrepit, but obviously, you're a little bit older than you used to be, at least. Well, you folks have just done great, and you seem to have had a good time.
Yeah, great. We've seen things that we only imagined and we read about in the Bible, and it's really true. It's what it says, and that's why the Bible is so true. These places are just awesome to visit.
Well, have you both shared what you felt like was your most important place, or do you have different ideas about what you enjoyed here? Jerry, what was your favorite place?
I think most when we were up on the mountain where Moses stood.
Really?
To me, that was just like theirs showed us all the things Moses saw.
Yeah. Well, that was our first sight of the Holy Land too, and the first time that I saw it, and it was an awesome time. I just to see that whole time. That was it wasn't a chilly and windy day that day.
It was like we were just supposed to be there that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably was very, very much like when they first came over.
Right.
Harlan, what a special time for you from Cairo to here?
Well, I guess when we went to the place where Jesus fed the 5,000, it just, I don't know, it just was very emotional for me, and it just, I don't know, it just was a miracle that was there, that I got to see the place that it happened. And I also felt on Mount Nebo.
Yeah.
I felt the same thing as she did. It was an awesome sight to look over into the Holy Land, and let Moses could see that God told him, this is the land, but you're not going to get to go there.
Yeah.
We got to go there.
Well, that's true.
We got to see it. And I thank the Lord that He's allowed us to make this trip and see these wonderful sights and meet a lot of good people. We've made a lot of good friends on this trip.
I have a sense that it would be difficult for me not to communicate with these people from time to time or hear from them, or I do feel like, when you've been through something together, you kind of feel like you're family. That's right. So we've made lifelong friends, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
A number of these people have come time and time again. Do you think a part of it has to do with the friendship and the fellowship that they've created among themselves?
Well,
or is it the place entirely?
Yes, part of it is friendship, but I think the first time you're in awe of these things that you see, the second trip you're more inclined to really grasp what the meaning is, because you're not in such awe then. I think you go home now with this first trip, and I'll study my Bible more closely and more thoroughly and try to understand these things. And if the Lord allows me to come back again, then I will have a little bit more knowledge. And when the guide tells us these things, I'll really know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Is there someone that you would wish you could bring here, or someone that you'd like to talk into coming with you the next time?
Oh yes, I wish my son could come and see this. He would just love it.
Really? My wife and children didn't come with me, and I've been trying to figure out ways in which they could come with me in the future. So I guess there's nothing, when you see something wonderful, you just kind of wish you could share it with somebody.
Right.
Well, what avenues will you have for sharing this when you get back home? Will you tell a Sunday school class? Will your church ask you to stand up and give a testimony or share, or will your family come over and look at your photos? What kind of ways will you be telling people what you've seen?
Well, our son lives in Swanee, Georgia, which is north of Atlanta, and I told David that I would we would come and visit him and tell him about our trip. After seeing all of this, I'm going to ask him to take a week's vacation, because it's going to take me that long to explain to him how I feel about this and what I have seen. And I hope my memory serves me real good with all of the notes that I've taken, that I can tell him. And he was excited about us coming as we were coming, because he wanted us so much to see this. And so I just want to spend some time with him and our daughter and her family, and of course the church will also, and our Sunday school class. But David, I want him to give me some time, and I'm going to tell him, get me 4 or 5 days, because it's going to take me that long.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Really express myself.
Well, I know that he will enjoy that, and he'll. It sounds like he'll find it irresistible. He'll just have to come himself and see it for himself again. And that'd be wonderful, that you get to point to things and tell him what's coming up next, or what the significance of this or that is. Well, folks, I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you. I've enjoyed traveling with you, and I'd go anywhere in the world with you, because you're just wonderful traveling companions.
We appreciate you, John.
All right.
And back to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is time to be doing it, but I'm trying to get to everybody. I have caught you both in various places from one end of our trip to the other, sometimes together and sometimes separately, but I've enjoyed being with you. I had never met either one of you before I came on this trip, so I've enjoyed traveling with you.
Good, we enjoyed it too.
Linda, you seem to be the vocal one, and Bill, you don't say much, so
I'm amen. Man.
that's all right. That's all right. We started out that way with me and my wife, and then the Lord called me to preach. Well, I was already preaching, but I have to be the one who steps up and speaks. But I tell you what, is this your first trip here? Or?
Yes, it is. We've talked about it ever since we got married.
Right.
Really?
But this is the first opportunity we've had, and we thought, not pass it up.
Right.
Was there something you were anticipating particularly together or individually that you really you were anxiously looking forward to seeing, and then you saw it? Linda, what about you? Something?
Jerusalem.
Just the city itself?
The city itself, and just to see the places where we knew Jesus actually was.
Bill, any particular place that you had on your mind?
What impressed me was right after we left Jordan, we come into Israel, and I tell you what, I felt the presence of God right then, because everything was so beautiful, and that's the way God is to his people, just magnificent. I mean, really enjoyed it.
Well, apart from what you were looking forward to or anticipating, is there something that surprised you, maybe something that you had never thought that you would see, but it had special meaning to you? Is there any special place that was particularly moving to you?
Well, the Garden of Gethsemane was really impressed me by the olive trees. I couldn't imagine them being that big, and I believe they were about, 2,600 years old.
They were very, very old. I took some excellent shots there. I'm hoping they turn out well, but I had no idea that there might actually be some trees here who might possibly have been here during the time of Jesus. Right. So that's amazing.
Well, I believe I heard someone say that it's about 2,600 years, Yeah. So, I mean, that took care of it. Right. The one that we had a picture of,
Yeah. When you get home, is there someone in particular, or a class, or who will you tell all of this about? A family member, a friend?
Well, a family member. I'm concerned. I have a son that is really interested in the Garden of Gethsemane, and so I will tell him and talk with him about it.
Okay. Well, we're just a few hours before we head off to Tel Aviv. You both look remarkably fresh, and I know that you're tired and weary just as everyone else is, but you've done very well on this trip, and seeing you just trudging along, you've inspired me. As sometimes I've had my difficulties, so I've been bringing up the rear most of the time, but you guys have plodded right on through. Is there, as you look at this, obviously something you've dreamed about? Any disappointments at all, or anything that you felt like was less than you had imagined, or has everything superseded and surpassed your expectations?
The only thing was the crowds. You couldn't always get the feeling of what it was back then, and sometimes I wish that we could have gone alone to some of these places and gotten the spirit of what it was like.
Yeah. It a little distracting sometimes, wasn't it? And the hustle and bustle. And of course, I really would just like to have gone into the empty tomb and just sit down there for a while, for a long time, all by myself without hearing a sound. But that's quite impossible, I guess. So. Well, folks, I want to thank you for your time, and I wish you good luck. And I have enjoyed being your traveling companion, and would be feel blessed to go with you anywhere in the world. So we've got a few more miles to do together, so we'll see you as later on this evening, and as we head home together.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.